Hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I am so excited to go live today. This is my first time doing this live on this type of live stream thing. So I think I see myself. Okay, we're good. We did it. Awesome. I am going to get started. So welcome everybody to our live stream today. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and tell me, like, use the commenting function, all those things. Let me get set up one sec. I'm going to put it up here so I can make sure I can see the chat of it all. Let's see. Let me go here. This says I'm live. Can I see that chat? Yay. Hello. Am I chatting to myself? Okay, fantastic. Okay, I can see all of the things. So if you're here live, I can see the chat. Everything is working as it should. Fantastic. We are going to get started. So this live is all about how to know what results to track in your offer. So, if you don't know me, my name is Ashley. I'm an automation and operations expert, and I specifically help coaches and service providers really automate and streamline the delivery of their offers. So, decreasing your delivery time so you can take on more clients, so you can have better profit margins, so you can get more clients, more results. So, we really work on the systems. But before you even touch your systems, I specialize in a software called Airtable, which is the only place that you should be really managing your clients. This is a very Airtable heavy YouTube channel, but we're actually not even going to be talking about Airtable or really systems at all in this live, because the thing you have to do before you even touch your systems is know the result that your offer gets. So this live is really relevant for anybody with an online offer. If you are a one-on-one service provider or a coach, if you have one-on-one coaching, if you have a group program, a mastermind, a membership, done for you services, VIP days, this is really, really relevant to you. Everything you sell needs a very clear result, because that is the result that everything else is the foundation of. So if you are having systems, like, you can't build your systems without having a clear result. We'll get into why that's a little tricky in a moment, because more likely than not, you have actually been selling without a very clear result. So, you've been able to sell stuff maybe to an existing audience, or just because they've like heard you enough and trusted you enough, you kind of have like a fuzzy result, but they can kind of squint and see like, yeah, she can help me. You know that you're getting people results, but it doesn't feel like repeatable, trackable, provable. The more clients I work with, the more I see that this is a really universal experience, that even though you are getting clients and your clients are leaving happy, you still can't really articulate like the result of the thing that you're selling. And that's very clear on your sales page. Like, it feels fuzzy. So we need to clean that up before we touch any systems. So that's what we're going to get into today. And really, if you are here live, go ahead and use the commenting function in the chat, because I will be able to do some live coaching, and I have a ton of examples, and we'll have work through this. So ideally, by the end of watching this video, whether you're live or have the replay, you will be able to have a very clear result, or just clean up some of your results that you're tracking and feel really clear before we go into future videos about like how to actually track. So before we get into the how to track, which, spoiler alert, that we track through Airtable, we need to know what we're tracking. So your offer's results is really like your North Star. So we're going to build everything around that. And here are some reasons why you need a very clear result. So if you have a clear result, you have clear marketing. You know exactly what to say. You know exactly who to say it to. If you're making all your yapping videos on Instagram, or if you're writing an email, you can just very clearly see, this is the result that I get my clients. How can I talk about this in multiple different angles? It sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I've really found it when we really niche down my offer systems over stress to talking about offer delivery. Like, I was able to write so many more emails. I had so many more ideas because I kind of had this creative constraint of the clear result that I was getting my clients, so I could talk about it in a bunch of different ways. So a clear result has clear marketing. A clear result also gets you better and clearer delivery systems. So, for example, a lot of us in our onboarding are asking a million questions that are not really relevant to what's actually going on, like in the result, like in the offer. So let's say if you are a thread strategist or marketing strategist, and you're asking all of these questions about, like, I don't know, like your, like, what you want your offer to look like and what you like. I don't know. What's an example of something I've seen? Well, first of all, people are asking birthdays and stuff and never sending birthday gifts. That's separate. But really, like, you're asking so many questions in your onboarding email or in your onboarding forms. But when you're really clear on the result you get your clients, you don't have to ask them like what is their strategy for their email marketing if you're just focusing on threads. So if getting clearer on the result that you get your clients means that you cut everything in your delivery systems are like, is this system that I want to create, is it going to get my clients better results? Great, let's build that. If not, it's often like a shiny project and can be cut. And of course, a clearer result. And when you have clearer marketing and better delivery systems and clearer delivery systems, you're going to have better profit margins because you cut everything that doesn't move the needle. So clear results give you clear marketing, clear delivery systems, and better profit margins. And so those are the reasons why we really want to focus on your results. Because in 2026, I really have also found like the more we're able to prove our results that we get in our offers, it's not optional anymore. It's really a requirement. Because if you have, and I'll show you some examples of some really great sales pages that track their results using the frameworks that I teach. If you are going to look at one program versus another, and it's an email marketing program, you're going to pick the one that has walls and walls of receipts that show exactly the result that you are that you want. So they see that other people have gotten that result. Like, you want as many testimonials and case studies as possible. And if you want a clear sales page, you have to have a clear result. So all of that and like how you build your tracking systems for that has to be clear as well. So clear results, that's what we're working with. Where people get stuck here, and I just want to kind of do this out the gate before we get into some of our like workshops. We're going to be like journaling. We're going to be like building some stuff out. Where people get stuck on picking a result that they have in their offer, there's a couple things. One, some coaches and service providers believe that their result isn't tangible enough to track. So they do things like confident, mindset, relationships, wellness. All of those things are totally trackable. A lot of the times people think, I can't even track it. So like, I don't even know, like, I'm not even going to think about it because the thing I do is too custom, it's too unique. And that's just not true. Again, in another video, we're going to talk about how to track, but just know whatever you decide to track in your offer today, we will be able to track it using Airtable. Another belief that people get stuck on is that your work is too custom or too done for you. Like, you don't have just like one result. You get something like you get, what's the word? Things are too custom. And so there's always going to be a through line for your offer. So if you are promising, like if you have multiple clients who are working on different projects in their business, maybe it's marketing, or maybe you're talking about client delivery systems, or maybe all of your clients they're launching a podcast, or they're pitching to brand partnerships, and like the through line is helping grow your audience or grow your impact. Like, we can figure out what the through line is, and I'll walk you through some ways to do that. And then the other thing where people get stuck is really committing to a result feels too scary. So they are nervous to like say with their chest, hi Megan, good to see you in the chat. They're really nervous to say with their chest like that they can promise XYZ. So a result statement is not a guarantee. It's really just your North Star. So it's saying like, this is what we're working towards in this program. This is what we're working towards in this offer, not a promise that every client hits exactly. So actually, the more you track, the more confident you will get that you're like, okay, cool. I said that people could launch a podcast in 90 days. My average client is actually launching the podcast in 45 days, or they're launching it in 110 days. So you have the data, and then you can refine and workshop your result and your promise accordingly. But you should be able to feel confident that like, all right, this is what I'm working towards. I want all of my clients to be able to get this result in X amount of days. And the data is going to help you show that and refine that over time. So truly, I really believe like the industry needs us to be really clear on the results that we're tracking and showing off, because people are burned out on coaches and service providers who promised results that they didn't deliver on, or maybe didn't really promise anything at all and things feel a little fuzzy. The more you commit to and track a real result, the more trust gets rebuilt for your clients, for you, and for the industry as a whole. So that is why we need to track our results. There's where people get stuck. Yes, someone said in the chat, doing this has helped me with my systems. Absolutely. Building this before your systems before you even touch your systems is huge. I want to show an example of some of my favorite clients and the ways that they've shown off their results. And I show this to you to show you like what is possible. We are actually going to do a workshop where I want or work. Oh, what's it called? A work. We're going to go through an exercise where you are going to imagine that your sales page looks like the sales pages that I'm going to show you. So I'm actually going to walk you through what that exercise looks like. And as you're thinking about it, I'm going to show you some examples. So before you can track your results, you got to know what results you're chasing. And the fastest way to do that is to write down some of the testimonials that you wish you had on your sales page right now. So what I want you to do is I'm actually going to walk you through this. Let me pull up. Cool. All right. I hope you can see that okay. So what I want you to do is walk through your like a wall of receipts on your sales page. So what you want to do is use real client wins if you have them. If not, make them up based on what your offer is designed to deliver. So do this once per offer. So if you're like, but I have a membership and a mastermind and I have 4 different done for you VIP days, like just pick one thing right now. And so work on the one that feels like the most sticky, the one that you want the most coaching on in the comments. And what I'd love for you to do is truly close your eyes and think about what those ideal testimonials can look like. And I want you to be really specific with them. So saying like, Ashley helped me have my first 30K month without booking a single weekend wedding. Or I feel like desirable and powerful after leaving my marriage. I met the man of my dreams without using a single dating app. I feel more confident standing up to my over-demanding boss. I can go to work on Mondays without that lump in my throat. And I just negotiated a 15% raise. Do a couple different options. Obviously, these are kind of 3 very different offers, but do 3 of like, think about your ideal clients and you see how specific those are. Get really, really specific here. And I would love for you to drop those in the chat as I show you some examples of some really great sales page walls of receipts as well. Because the more we get clear here and like the more we will be able to reverse engineer what your tracking systems look like. So, and before we even find like the overall tracking thing the result that we're tracking, this is going to help us just kind of vibe check of like, what are the types of testimonials that I want to have on my sales page. So you can use existing clients that you have. You can use made up clients. If you've never sold this thing before, it's like, who is your ideal clients? What are the ideal wins that you could be like, wow, if those were on my sales page, this would be incredible. So I'm going to have you work on that while I show off some of our amazing examples and sales pages to show you what is possible. All right. First up, we have Gina Knox, and Gina Knox is a money coach, and she has a great program called Small Business Money School. Debt-free, taxes paid, savings funded even with inconsistent income. A 12-month group coaching program for business owners who want an organized and more profitable business. Really fucking clear. Can you cuss on here? I don't know. I'm not trying to get monetized by YouTube anyways, but anyways. So that is her program promise. So that is her measurable, trackable result. But that's kind of us skipping ahead. I want to show you some of her testimonials and results tracking. So of course she has like, here's the framework. Here's what you get in the program. All of us have examples of this. Here's what you get. This is a great sales page. She has so many examples of business owners who have achieved the result of this program. So Kathy, a writing coach, saved 3 months of business expenses and paid off business debt. So very clear result. Here's Kathy's story. She scaled up fast, grew her team. Here's her results. 6 months of business buffer built, sales back up, no longer paying herself minimum wage. She has these really strong metrics. Ashley, assistant specialist, also Ashley's a queen, saved $22,446 and quit her 9-to-5. Her results, $24,000 a year owner's pay raise, saved X amount in business revenue, quit her 9-to-5 a whole year ahead of schedule. So Gina you see, it keeps going. She has more than she could put on her sales page. And you'll notice here, we're talking down to the penny. And she knows these things because I know, she's a client of mine. On the back end, she's tracking these results in Airtable. So she knew, here's what the result I want this program to get. And here is I'm going to build tracking systems, and then I'm able to market that accordingly. So it's like a very beautiful cycle. Also, I know Gina has gone through so many iterations of curriculum here, and the more she got clear on her client results, the more she was able to clarify and clean up her offers. That's that. We also have $1 Million Email, which is Kirsten Roldan's email marketing program. Same thing. Kirsten, actually, she's like, I want it to feel annoying how many results that I have. I want people to be scrolling. So let me go down here and you will see that she has that. Jocelyn made 11,000 with email. Lucia made 8,000 with email. Abigail made 19,000. Juliet made $5,214 with email. And you notice here, I can tell because I can like see people's client results. I know by looking at a sales page if they're using a results tracker, because I'm like, okay, she's asking how many email sales they get, and she's also asking what kind of coach and what kind of business they have, because you can see she's saying sabotage coach, rock climbing coach. So people on her sales page can be like, oh, I see myself in Abigail. I see myself in Juliet. So that is how you can do that. So that's a really great example of this. And then finally, we have Maddie. She has this program called Rebrand, another great, she teaches people to double their brand photography inquiries in the next 90 days. She also has great testimonials. She's got results here, made 6 figures in brand photography and now offers coaching. Here's her results. So she's tracking all of this stuff for all of her clients. Something else that Maddie does, which is really cool, we'll get into like the how you can do this in later videos, is she has this section here, rebrand by the numbers. She knows all of this because she's tracking. She has $1 million in total brand photography booked by Photographers in the program. It's taking the average person 79 days to book their highest price session. The average price brand session is this. She's 100% increasing confidence during rebrand. So I know how she's getting these numbers. It's because of how she's tracking it. But she had to decide what she cared about showing and marketing on her sales page. So that's what I want you to do. So hopefully these examples are interesting to you. I know these are all numerical based, but it doesn't have to be numerical based. So I'm going to look in the chat and see some of the comments here. Someone said, I have this one. I no longer feel intimidated by the analytics side of my business. I know that I have a basic understanding of the analytics side. That's great. I would say too, for that, I would also say like, I no longer feel intimidated by the analytics side of my business, but then I would also add something that's a little more like, what are they able to do? So like, are they able to make better marketing decisions because they're able to look at their analytics and see that what's performing and what's not. So they take the guesswork out of it. Like, what does not feeling intimidated by the analytics make them feel? I would add that. Let's see. I'm excited to learn what those numbers mean and best how to interpret the data to edit my marketing. Yep, those are great. Because I know that you're a systems person, and for systems people too, it's like, what do we care about? Like, are people getting wins for? For me, it's like, I want people to be able to say, I was able to cut down my delivery hours so I can take on more clients without increasing my hourly, without increasing how many hours I work a month, things like that. So yeah, I do ask what kind of service provider they are. It's hard to measure what happens in the course of a one-on-one call versus a much longer program. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a future video of how to track results, and you can track kind of like along the way, and then your bigger result as well. Because a lot of us, if you're doing a big project, if you're saying like, quit your job, it's like, okay, quitting your job is a big result, but what are the things that the people can do along the way that we can measure? Are they getting more confident? Are they like, how many resumes have they sent out? How many job interviews have they had that have gone well? Those types of things. Cool. All right. So I hope that was helpful to see. The next thing that I want y'all to do is, like I said, write yours down and ideally get really clear on the result that would be on the sales page, and then like the client's name, and then kind of their type on like location. So are they a health coach? Are they a marketing coach? Are they a mom of 3? Are they a single mom? Are they above 40 and never dated before? Like, whatever it is, try to get really clear, because you'll start to see, we'll just be able to reverse engineer these things of like, okay, If you care about feeling like you want someone to say, I no longer feel intimidated by the analytics side of my business, we need to ask in your results tracking form, how intimidated do you feel on your analytics on a scale of 1 to 10? So it's pretty easy to create your tracking systems and create your systems in general once you know what you're tracking. So that's that. The next thing we're going to do is kind of find the through line of all of those examples. So I want you to look back at your wall of receipts and see, like, what is the through line here? What is the core result that shows up no matter who the client is? So weight lost, money saved, confidence gained, skills up-leveled, client signed, videos published, number of anxiety-free weeks, projects completed, routines established, months sober, whatever it is. If you feel like these results are actually way too all over the place and there's no through line, that is a sign that you either need to niche down or zoom out and find that through line. So a life coach for ADHD women might think that every client is different because they're working on a bunch of different projects. But the through line could be, like I said, number of anxiety-free weeks or number of routines established. There is always a core result. Your job is to name it. And if you are confused on the result that this offer gets your clients, you better believe that random strangers on the internet are confused. And you better believe it's going to be pretty tough for them to give you thousands of dollars if you cannot articulate the result that you get your clients. So that's really, really important. If you're feeling confused, your clients are feeling confused. Your leads are feeling confused. So the more we get clear here, the better. So if you know what the result of your offer is, go ahead and drop that in the chat. And optionally, if you know it, if you feel good about it, attach a time frame. So your data is eventually going to tell you the real number, but like, what are you aspiring to? So I help, like, what did Maddie say? She helps people book their highest paid brand photography session in under 90 days. And you can see her data tells her literally 79 days. And so there's that. That's that. So get your best guess and let me know in the chat if you have anything. And also, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments too, and I can kind of workshop it with you there. And then our final kind of act here is putting it all together. So putting it in more of like a very clear statement, almost like a Mad Lib. So offer name helps this type of person achieve this kind of result in this kind of time frame. We really want to see that at like the top of your sales pages very clearly. If you don't have that, then it's really hard for people to see themselves and know like what they're paying for. So for us, Systems Over Stress helps coaches and service providers cut down their delivery hours and increase their client results in 30 days. So being really clear, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm a coach and service provider. Oh, I want to cut down my delivery hours and increase my client results. Cool. I'm going to keep scrolling and see, like, how does she do that? What are the modules? Like, what's going on here? So getting really high level, like we want that, like you should say it in a sentence. You should feel really clear. And then you want to have that statement before you go build systems, before you go write marketing, before you do any of that stuff. Let's see. Help service providers who are stuck making marketing decisions without a reliable feedback loop leave one 60-minute working session with a clear actionable priority plan based on their current reality. It's getting close. I think, let's see. I think that if I'm going to give you coaching on that, I would say without a reliable feedback loop is kind of jargony. I don't know what that means just from looking at it. So helping service providers who are stuck making marketing decisions without a reliable feedback loop. I would say, yeah, totally. For me, I'm thinking about, because I am a person who struggles with marketing and is now committing to a YouTube live series to try to get better at marketing. But I would say, like, what is stuck making marketing decisions and what does without a reliable feedback loop mean, kind of more at a basic level? I would say, like, if you're stuck making marketing decisions, does that mean it's like you're like on too many platforms? Maybe it's like you help service providers figure out what marketing platform is working for them, based on data, and and leave with an actionable plan to like decrease your marketing efforts while increasing your results or something like that. I think that could be cool for you. It's like, how do you decrease your marketing efforts and increase the results by looking at data? that is something that feels a little more like straightforward than saying stuck making marketing decisions without a reliable feedback loop. Let me know how that sounds. Database marketing decisions, something like that. I think that playing around with that, because that would be really helpful. I would see. I'm just going to use that as an example. So if you were saying you're on too many platforms, you don't know what's working, throwing spaghetti at the wall, like in this 60-minute session, we are going to audit every single platform you're on. We're going to see what results are working. And then we're going to like make a decision to cut something, add something, do that. That is a really clear person that you're talking to. And you can be like, I'm on these platforms. What platforms I am? Your onboarding questions would look different. How you would run that 60-minute call would be different, all of those things. So that is a way, I hope that's helpful to kind of see how we get there. A lot of us, especially systems people, can get really into the nitty gritty of how we do it. Like now, I don't know, like we're still finessing our client results tracking systems too. It's very much like cobblers with no shoes. And I'm trying to figure out how to do this in a way that I'm like, do I even talk about Airtable in the result? Like, do people care about that? Or like helping coaches and service providers cut down their delivery hours and increase their client results by implementing an Airtable system? Like, we're still figuring that out, but you can never really get it wrong. You're just going to get closer and more refined as you go. Megan asks, is there a way to track and frame something they aren't doing? Like they stop monthly needless pivots because they have a clear copy for what they do, how it works, who it's for, and why it matters. Yes. So what I always like to say with what they're stopping doing, and Megan, if I think your offers have changed over time. So let me know what's the most accurate now. We can workshop it. But I would say the result would be like, stop doing this and start doing this. So my offer helps overwhelmed like entrepreneurs stop, let's see. I would say like they would stop like abandoning projects halfway through the month and have a clear marketing plan that they are consistent with and excited by. I don't know if that's really what you're working with, but that's just an example. So I would say like, yeah, we're going to stop doing this and we're going to start doing this. So, and then of course in your result tracking, you could say, how many times in a month are you abandoning a project? And then we can start to see over time. And if I don't know if what your offer is structured like right now, but if it's one-to-one, you would be asking that on the coaching calls. And if it's a group program or a membership, then you would set up a monthly tracking form to be asking that. Yeah. So this is truly the thing that I think takes the most time and really comes from your brain and what you want to talk about and what you want to teach your clients and the way that you want to work. Like, what do you want to be known for? What do you want that wall of receipts to look like? This is the thing that like I'm thinking about in the shower. And like I'm thinking like, all the I'm thinking. And then once I figure it out, I'm like, like, okay, and then like everything else becomes so much clearer. Let's see. I know SOS has helped me have the confidence to show up and market my things because I know my systems are there to support it. Yeah, that's great. And that's a result that I've been playing around with too. It's like systems over stress helps you show up more confidently in your offers. It's like the way that you tweak what the result is, it like really does change the rest of the program and the rest of the systems and the rest of your onboarding. So it's also figuring out what is that wall of receipts that like you also feel like people will want to pay for. Like, Megan, let me see. I help enthusiastic overthinkers talk about their work in ways that feel nuanced without overwhelming their target market. Yes, I think that let me see. Yeah. 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 I know I need that. Let's see. I help enthusiastic overthinkers. Yeah. I think that that's good. That doesn't have anything to do with the thing that you said above, which was the like stop starting pivoting kind of thing. So I'm curious if that's two separate offers. But yeah, I'm curious if you're thinking about if that's the same offer you're thinking about, because that doesn't, I would restructure that in a way. Um, and I think that what you're talking about in that result, Megan, is like basically people are marketing and like how I was talking about. I'm like, with Airtable systems, for example, it's like I identify as an enthusiastic overthinker. And if I talk about Airtable all the time and you would come in and be like, hey, your cold leads do not know about Airtable. They don't care about Airtable. They care about client results. They care about client delivery. Talk about that instead. Like I think uh I would say like I help enthusiastic overthinkers like understand why their marketing isn't working. Um, because I think talk about their work. I'm like, are they talking about their work at all? Are they marketing and it's not hitting? Like I'm just there's something there. It's close and it's definitely getting there, but I don't think it's 100% there yet. Yeah, this is the stuff that I know. I feel like we're all I'm very much an enthusiastic overthinker. And that's why I would also say it's like even if you like people can often really, really overthink this part. I would say if you're watching this video, if you're watching the replay, get it to be 80% and be like, cool, this feels closer than I had before. It's spent 6 years like refining systems over stress. And like I just get clearer and clearer every time. So it definitely just takes time and it takes more data and like what are people responding to and what is the market wanting. Mm-mm. Yeah. Megan said, okay, thank you. Yeah, it's figuring out what folks need to hear without fire hosing their audience. Yeah, I think that I would also say probably like the result that you would want to be tracking too is a little bit of a tangible thing on the back end, which would be like, what is that? Like, what is the success metric of that? I don't know the success metric necessarily is like, oh, they've stopped pivoting. It's like, hey, is your marketing translating to leads? Like, and if it's not translating to leads, it's likely because you are like, it's not because you aren't putting out content, it's because you're putting out the wrong type of content. Uh, yeah. Cool. Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. And I think that I've watched your stuff over the years. And yeah, I use a cathedral metaphor. Gorgeous medieval cathedrals were made to overwhelm in the sanctuary, but every cathedral has an yeah, cool. Helping you build that entry point. Yep. Yep. I think that that is where you would start is like I help like overwhelmed like overthinkers simplify. I would say simplify their messaging to have a very clear starting point to like help cold leads like enter their universe or like obviously maybe like change that a little bit, but I would say you are handling like your offer is really handling top of funnel stuff. So you'd say how many times are you posting a month, a week, whatever, what platforms are you posting on? And then how often are you getting engagement on those? And like, what is your like main, like, do you have a funnel? Like, how many leads are you getting? And then we want to hopefully see you are putting out either like you're putting out more or less content, whatever that is, and you're getting like more people are resonating with it. I think that's where your offer would help. And that's really clear to me. It's like, it's not that you're not putting out shit. It's like, it's not converting. It's not translating. Yes, I think that based on what you're talking about, it seems like you're really talking about like front of the cathedral, like very clear, very simple, and then wanting to get like all of the nuances and data. Like that's maybe more of like inside of the offer or on a sales call versus what is that entry point. I think that really, really makes sense. Yep. And man, Megan, I really resonate what you said. They might not be talking about fire hose, but they know that they're talking too much on sales calls. I want to like explain the how, and I'm not explaining like the why or like, like the how gets done when they're booked with us. It's like figuring out those things. Us getting closer to into your result that you're tracking, it makes me feel like, okay, now I know what you would say. Now I know how you would market that, all of those things. It was so amazing to have y'all live in the chat. Thank you for being here live. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and put your stuff in the comments. And also, I'm very active on Instagram and Threads. So feel free to shoot me a DM, say that you're coming from the YouTube live, and like we can workshop your result together. Like I said, the more clear you get on this, I would not pass go until you feel like you have a very clear result that you can work with and that you can build systems around. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to use Airtable to actually track your results. I would not come to that. I would not watch that video until you get really clear on the result. And so when you get clear on doing this. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the chat for those of you live if this was helpful. And if you're, like I said, please go ahead and comment below. Of course, subscribe for future videos and truly slide into my DMs on Instagram. I'm at Systems Over Stress. Best way to chat with me, yap with me. And we, of course, have an email list as well. So you can sign up for that below and get notifications every time I go live on these types of trainings. So hope this was helpful. Yes. And it's so much easier, like I said, to help others than our own things, especially when we're so close to the results that we get our clients. It's like, well, I get them so many results, or I get them no results. It's like, you can't see the forest from the trees sometimes. And that is really one of my superpowers, is to be like, oh, cool. Yeah, you should be tracking this, not that. Or like, people would care about this. People would pay $2,000 for this result. They wouldn't pay that much for this result. And so really figuring out, sometimes you just need somebody to bounce it off of. And, like the AI of it all, sure, you can run it by Claude, you can run it by chat, but running it by some people who who are humans, I think run it by humans. Run it by humans. You can chat to your AI tools, but please run it by humans, because humans are going to be the ones that are paying you money. So you want to make sure that your result resonates with humans and not just AI bots who are going to agree with whatever you say. I like AI, but especially for strategy and getting clear on this stuff, what we teach in other trainings is, once you're really clear on the result, which, like I said, should not come from AI, it should come from you and your brain and your experience and what you want. Then you can you can run it through AI and say, hey, what are the quantitative and qualitative things I could ask in a results tracking form to make sure I'm tracking this result? Yeah. So that is, that's what I recommend. Yeah. That's the part I love the most, the conversations. Yeah. There's so much I love the conversations. I love all that. Well, thank you so much for being here live. Like I said, if you don't know me yet, my name is Ashley. I'm a systems and automations expert, and I specifically specialize in coaches and one-on-one service providers, handling their client results tracking and decreasing their delivery hours while increasing their client results. So setting up systems that make it easier for you to deliver, easier for you to sell, without sacrificing your client results. So thank you so much for being here live, and thank you so much for watching the replay, and we'll see you in future videos.